The 2023 Nigeria presidential election has been the most talked about among Nigerians, especially with the hilarious party primaries and their outcome. Hello and welcome to Let's Talk. My name is Olujoke Mosako. The topic is 2023 presidential race, Clash of the Titans. And my guest is Ustaz Lawal Jubril, a public analyst. But before we delve into the program proper, I'd like to remind you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on all of our social media platforms. Until then, let's continue on this ride. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Ustaz Lawal Jubril.
Oh, thank you so much. It's a pleasure being here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, out of your tight schedule, you made it here. Thank you once again. Now, the topic is the 2023 presidential race, and we know the people that will be contesting for this exalted seat of the Nigerian nation. Would you say that the 2023 presidential race is bound to be a tough bone to crack, considering the presidential flag bearers of both ruling parties and both the ruling party, I beg your pardon, and the opposition party?
Oh, thank you so much. You've asked a big question, if I may put it that way. The fact that Bala Ahmed Tinubu and Alhaji Abubakar Atiku are the prominent flag bearers of the election coming up in 2023. It's a major thing, and it calls for a lot of critical analysis. I won't say it calls for concern because ordinarily it's expected to be competitive. However, I won't want to limit it to just the two of them. I will equally want to include the person of Peter Obi of Labour Party. A lot of developments are coming up that is making quite a number of us that are analysts and political scene watchers to want to bring Obi into the foray of what people will need to watch out for. But let me take it like this. Atiku Abubakar has been in this game since 1992. Bola Ahmed Tinubu too has been in this game since around that time. I remember during the time of General Babangida, he was in the House of Assembly as a senator before he became moribund and June 12 eventually couldn't fly. He was part of that team. So they've both been on the field a long time. They are both veterans, highly experienced, politicians with a lot of, deft tactics that they could bring into it. The fact is we can't underplay the importance or the role of the two of them when it comes to political maneuvering. In 1993, when Tinubu, and etc. were up, they showed what they could do. And eventually in 1999, when we started this, dispensation of democracy in Nigeria, we all know the role Abubakar Atiku played. He was not supposed to be the vice president. He has already contested and come up as a candidate of the PDP then, in Adamawa as governorship candidate, and definitely he was going to win. Eventually, he won. I mean, because the person that stepped down for won. So it was on that basis because he was an offshoot of the Yaradua generation. The whole Yaradua, not the late Yaradua, his brother, the military Yaradua, General Yaradua. He was from that class, and it was very powerful. So when they were looking for who to be the VP of what's his name, General Basanjo, then his name came up so easily, and that's for you to show his political network. Ditto for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. When you look at what happened in 2003, after we started, after 1999, he wanted to go for second term in Lagos. And then there was this tsunami, that was sweeping across, the Southwest then, the political landscape in the Southwest. And AD was under serious threat because Obasanjo was hell-bent on, sweeping every vote in the Southwest to himself. The only person that was able to withstand such tsunami was Bola Ahmed Tinubu. PDP eventually took over, took all the states in the southwest except Lagos. So everybody realized then that he was a political powerhouse that need to be respected. So I agree with you that the two of them are huge, big, and they are titans. And when you look at the influence and the role they both played in whatever as it emerged in Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu had made so many people. He's not just hiding it. The present vice president happens to be his candidate. He's maneuvering, made PMD, the president to become president. And also, Atiku Abubakar has really been influential, in his party, in and out. So I agree with you, it's a big one. But then politicians know how to go about it, and they're already going about it. One thing that might play a huge role is who becomes the running mate of each of them. Atiku is looking towards the southeast. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is looking towards the north. He has no choice because the north we are part of those that made him to become the presidential, candidate of APC. So he had no choice. He's looking towards the north. But what will happen in the north is what is really giving a lot of political watchers now, a big nut to crack. Will you pick a Muslim ticket option, or will you just pick a Muslim Christian option from the north? Those are the big issues, the big challenges for the two of them. When they do this, we will not be able to do some permutation. But as things stand, it's going to be a very tough one for both of them. Peter Obi, yes, he's leveraging on the youth. This gruntled element. A lot of Nigerians are really frustrated with the present dispensation. The fact that they wanted change and they couldn't get that change is making quite a number of people to look away from the what I want to call the old brigade of Atiku and Abubakar and Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Quite a number of people are saying no to their emergence and no. Instead of they coming up, they will look somewhere else. And the unusual voters, the class of the unusual voters are suddenly becoming aware. The usual social media voters are becoming aware. There's a concert that is going on as I talk to you in Lagos that is it is mobilizing you. And the only thing, your gate fee to gain access to that concert is your PVC, your permanent voters card.
I was actually coming to that. There was a time, I guess the youths are beginning to wake up, or would I say, they really, really do want to change. That's why all of this is coming up. Because if you look at the story of Peter Obi, it's been all round, and this is actually more of the youths standing by him. Why do you think that he is actually the key that people want when it comes to this youths standing up for the 2023 general elections? And then you see that the youths are actually at the forefront of telling people to get their PVC. They've done it in skits in different forms. You see people's status with get your PVC, and some are like, okay, Obi is who we want. What made Obi has been around for quite a while. Why do they think he is the ticket for a better Nigeria?
Okay, I'll try and do this very quickly, but you've asked a question that will have taken a lot of time to explain because there are so many factors that are to be considered. Number one, you said it, Obi has been in this for a long time. Yes, when he started, he was not in PDP, he was not even in ABGA. But eventually, to become the governor of ABGA, of Anambra State, he needed to join ABGA. The powers that be told him, you can't be governor here unless you join ABGA. And he did, and he won. Now, the question has been, why hasn't he, taking the ticket of ABGA to want to continue in his political career or in his ambition to become Nigerian president? That's a big question. Why did he have to go to PDP? And when he noticed that PDP seems not to be working, he eventually dumped PDP and went for Labour Party. It's a simple question. Obi is a egghead. I kept on saying that to all on every program about that. And he knows the calculation. He knows the ABGA party cannot take him to anywhere because even ABGA as a party has not succeeded in capturing the Southeast. Where it's supposed to be a political powerhouse. ABGA has not been able to capture, the Southeast. PDP has succeeded in entering, APC is there. So there is a problem already. Now, come 2023, are we sure that there'll be election in the Southeast? We're not sure because of what is happening there. So you realize that the electoral value that you will get from the East from Afghan and the East, will not be able to push him to become the president. So that is why he goes for the Labour Party. Now, the youth coming to him, that is your question. Is when you look at both Tinubu and Atiku, the youth have seen that as a symbol of their woes. See, we all know the accusation levied against Tinubu during the NSAS riot in Lagos, the Bodlon connection, what happened at the Lekki toll gate, etc. They believe it belongs to him and he controls them. Whatever that has happened there was a result of whatever he would have done at the background. So people don't really believe in him. And don't forget the Bullion Van accusation against him and the fact that he controls Lagos, he has been imposing, etc., the emperor title. So the youth feel, no, he's not the best choice for them. Particularly on his own too, they feel that it's a money bag. When he was vice president and eventually he came out, established university, how many Nigerian youth can attend the university? What program does Atiku have out there that is beneficial to the average Nigerian youth? So all this coupled together, they feel it's not their choice. But when you look at a Peter Obi, that is coming from the third force element, and you look at the party to me, all these are youth, pro-youth people, even in their program. When Obi was in Anambra, a number of his program was tailored and it favored the youth. He created job creation was par excellence when he was in Anambra. And when you look at his record, his track record in Anambra, realize that Obi really performed incredibly well in Anambra. So people are looking at him like, look, is that generation is still averagely young compared to Tinubu, compared to an Atiku. He's still averagely young. And it seemed like the hope of the youth that could really carry the banner of the youth, most of giving his credentials on what he has done. That's why there's been a lot of mobilization for him, all over across. But then there's a lacuna. What is the lacuna? Can Obi truly win the presidential race? Well, I doubt it. And this is my reason. For anybody to win the presidency, to become the president of Nigeria, there is a technical clause in the Nigerian constitution that needs to be satisfied. What is that? Such a person needs to have scored minimum of 25% of total vote casted in 24 states. That is 2/3 of the Nigerian state. That's about 24 states. I don't see Obi meeting that criteria. I'm being honest. He might be able to get a lot of votes, but the number of votes is not a simple majority thing. That technicality is a challenge. Why am I saying that? If he is able to capture the Southwest, the South, and the Southeast, and all his campaign, the thematic point is pushing up in his campaign, really wins votes for him in the South. Totally, the South in totality, South, Southeast, and Southwest. I don't see him being able to penetrate the conservative North, and that's the challenge. The North is a conservative area. The voting pattern in the North is so established. With an article that is contesting, with a Bola Tinubu, the master of the game that is contesting, supported by the 7 states of the South of the Northwest, it's going to be difficult for Obi to penetrate into into the North. Yes, the power of labor union is there. The labor union is a party that has not been able to express itself. The Labour Party, when you look at that, because they have labor union supporting them, the NLC. But when you look at that, the NLC doesn't really have that power in the North. When you look at when they call out for, strike, etc., it holds and takes effect more in the South than in the West and in the North. And that is why I don't see Obi being able to pull the magic wand that will make him to become president. But in terms of being able to mobilize the youth to support him and gathering a lot of votes, he will be able to do that, but might not be able to survey the condition that he needs to meet to become Nigerian president.
Thank you so much for that. Let's quickly go on this break and we will be right back. Please stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, the program is Let's Talk on DNT Work. I've been speaking with Ustaz Lawal Jubril. He is a public analyst And the topic has been 2023 presidential race, clash of the titans. Thank you so much once again for standing by side. It's nice having you around.
Pleasure being here.
Now, before we actually go to the next question, I would like to talk about this issue of zoning and religious bias or religious sentiment. How do you think this is going to help the cause of the nation? Because this is actually what, like it's mentioned, oh, Tinubu is tilting towards the north, and also and then there's another thing that I actually read about. If he didn't pick a Muslim from the north, he might not win the election. And you also said Atiku is also tilting to the south or to the south precisely because they also want to win elections. So meaning Atiku is with the North naturally, we want to support their own. And like, so how do you think all of these, both religious and geopolitical zone sentiment is going to help the nation?
Well, a big question and a good one. There are two issues involved. Let me just analyze the way I see it from your question. Number one, all the various sentiments and voting pattern that we have in Nigeria, the Muslim or religious sentiment element of it, and the geopolitical sentiment, how will it help Nigeria? That's a question on its own. How will it help each of the candidates? Another question on its own. I will take one after the other. For any of the two that wants to become the president of Nigeria, they cannot afford to underplay that tribal or geopolitical setting. They can't afford to underplay it. They cannot also afford to underplay the religious element of it. How do I mean? It's obvious that Atiku would naturally pick somebody from the south, but he will not pick from the southwest because Tinubu will have a stronghold in the southwest. So the southwest will definitely go for Tinubu. Now he's going to look for area where he feels he's going to be able to garner votes, and that will be in the southeast and the south-south. Like I told you, the southeast already is having a problem. What's the total vote in the southeast? When you look at it, let's assume everybody out there goes out to vote. What's the total vote they will have in the southeast? Then come to bring the fact that IPOB is already there tormenting people out there, and the Peter Obi factor that is coming up too. So the southeast might not be a good place for Atiku to pick his candidate. Well, presently he's looking at NOI, that is Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, to come up for, with him as vice president, a good candidature, good credibility. But will he be able to win, enough votes in the southeast? Looking at the chaos situation in the southeast. So the other option he has is the south-south. In the southwest is out of it, the south is out of it. So he has the south-south. In the south-south, he needs to work with, a wiki with whom he contested, firstly, the primaries of the PDP. Well, there have been a lot of fence mending, but then one problem he's going to have is the personality of a wiki as his vice president is one thing that he needs to contend with. We all know whom wiki is. That's why looking towards Okowa, and somebody else from the south-south. So his best bet might be the south-south, because if he goes to the south-south, PDP might be able to capture the south-south, and he needs the vote of the south-south if he's going to get to the presidency. Assuming that the north will be for him in totality, he needs the south-south or southwest or southeast. If south is out of the way, southwest out of the way, he therefore needs to focus on the south-south. Maybe he's going to go there. Naturally, the person he will pick from the west, from the south, will be a Christian. So I think that is taken. Whether he's going to pick from southeast or south-south is what we don't know. But he might likely pick from the south-south because he will be able to deliver the south-south. That is how it goes. Now, regarding Bola Ahmed Tinubu Asiwaju, now the greatest challenge is that he does not have a choice than to pick from the north. Will he pick a northern Christian or a northern Muslim? People have said it will pay, it is going to be better for the APC to pick a northern Muslim because of the fact that of the sentiment of religion in the north. People have said, no, if he does that, he will have eventually hack get the annoyance of the Christian, and then he's going to have a problem, a challenge, being able to get the vote of the Christians, in the south. Those are the options. But then I listened to what's his name yesterday, the governor of Kaduna State, El Rufai, who said it's high time Nigerians look beyond this tribal sentiment, religious sentiment, in choosing a leader. Competence should be our watchword. By doing that, I am trying to answer the second element of the question. Will it favor Nigeria? Leave the political gladiators now, but will it favor Nigeria? The simple question is, Nigeria needs competence. Nigeria needs the best time. And because, for God's sake, if I go to the hospital, I don't ask a question whether the doctor I'm going to see is a Muslim or a Christian. If I enter an aeroplane, I'm not asking a question, is that pilot a Muslim? Is he a Buddhist? No, I don't ask those questions. What matters to me at that point is the competence of the pilot. What matters to me at that point is the competence of the doctor. And ditto for major areas where my welfare is at stake. So why am I suddenly considering religion? Why am I suddenly considering tribe when it comes to who leads me politically to get me to the promised land? So I think for Nigeria, the best answer should be there. However, politicians know how to whip up the sentiment of our religious affiliation, political affiliation, to get to what they want. That's what they are doing now. Now they are using against us. But if you ask me, I think we should grow beyond that. But the way things are in Nigeria, I doubt if we are matured enough to overlook religious sentiment and the tribal sentiment.
Okay. Now, it is said that Tinubu and Atiku are set for an epic battle come February 25, 2023, which of course you've mentioned and explained in detail. Now, we have other political candidates, I mean presidential candidates from other political parties. Why are they not talked about? Why are they not spoken of? Why are they not in the radar, as Nigerians are so focused on these two personalities? And what could go wrong in all of this?
The truth is, unfortunately, Nigerian politics, Africa as a whole, our politics is still evolving around money. You need money to be able to build necessary structure in Nigeria that will cut across the grassroots. Even if you are not paying politicians, if you are not giving them money to vote for you, you need to set up a structure, office, a vehicle, people that will move around, paying their logistics, all this entails money. Nigeria is a big landscape politically, geographically. So with this problem, all those other people that have shown interest have not shown enough, how will I put it? They've not, demonstrated that they have what it takes to be able to, evolve, galvanize the required resources that will make them get there. So people see them like pretenders. Okay, take for instance what happened at both primaries. Most importantly, what do you call it? APC primary. All those that contested at that primary have big weights. A pastor Bakari, for instance, could afford to collect a form of 100 million naira, but he didn't get a single vote at that primary. Ditto for this, South person that came from America, Jack Rate, or whatever his name is. I'm sorry. I think Jack Rate. He came, he had what it takes, but he never had the structure. Because what is needed at that level to get across to become the flag bearer are delegates. They don't control delegates. And that is what is going to happen with these other, aspirants, YPP aspirants, SDP aspirants, ANN aspirants, and etc. That's going to happen to them. Obi is coming up because one of his experience and the fact that the Labour Party too is not all that is not party. Labour Party has won state in the past. So that is why we are looking at Obi and using the Labour power, Labour backup, the Labour Union backup, he could do something because they are political parties that is yet to realize their potentiality. But for the other one, they lack the wherewithal, they lack what it takes to go into the grassroots, canvass for vote, and ask people that will be able to speak for them with their agents at each of these places. And that is why they are not being spoken about. They are just pretenders that are learning to be there. And that's the truth.
Thank you so much. Finally, do you have any advice for Nigerians, especially getting their PVC?
Well, I want to be honest with Nigerians that this is a critical moment in the history of Nigeria. We are the principals. And which means that it's a make or mar election for Nigeria. We have issues from social cultural organization. The Afenifere, Yoruba Nation is there, IPOB is there, the South Middle Belt, SMBLF, they are there. Everybody is agitating to be independent, asking for restructuring. The election in 2023 will determine whether Nigeria will remain as a single entity or not. And that's why I believe that all gladiators that are involved should think Nigeria first. We cannot afford to go to war. We can't afford a civil war in Nigeria the way things are. So if they don't behave well, if they don't carry themselves about well, we might eventually have a problem with the election. So the voters, I want to advise, they should ensure they go out to vote for the candidate that they think will give Nigeria a future. I've always spoken to the elite. The elite are hypocritical because they are the ones that benefit from the rot. They don't always want to, be frontal. They don't always want to take the bull by the horn. For instance, when any government comes in, they will not appoint the market woman, the one that sells, pepper at Kuto Garage or at Balogun in Lagos or at Ariara Market in Aba. They won't appoint such a person. They will appoint an educated person to become commissioner, to become minister, to hold appointment. So because of what they want to gain from the system, they're always very careful. They will sit on the fence and they don't want to come out. It's high time that the elites come out to educate Nigerians. Because when you talk of vote wisely, in which political economy, any country of the world, has it been seen that the mob are wise when they are choosing their leaders? They are not wise. So there's no wisdom with the mob, no wisdom with the citizenry. So somebody needs to come and guide them and enroll them to what is good for them. Those are the elites. My advice is they should equally come out to enlighten the people about what are the contending issues that people should look out for in 2023. So on all parties across board, the politicians, the voters, and the elite, my advice is we should take 2023 very seriously. If we are not careful, we might not have a country called Nigeria after 2023. Thank you so much.
Thank you too. Thank you so much for this wonderful advice and instruction, if I may add. Thank you once again for coming on the show. It's nice having you here. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
And to you out there, thank you too for watching the program this week. And I'm also going to leave you with this. Go get your PVC and make your vote count. Until next time, I remain Oluja Kemosaku. Bye for now.